Hello everyone. Today the topic is human resource business partner, also known as Hrbp. The first question that comes to my mind is, as an employee, do we create values in the business unit we serve, or is that value has a direct impact on the profitability or the bottom line of the business objective? So the idea is, as an employee, what are we looking at it? Are we the partners of the organization, or we just one of the stakeholders with having an individual self-interest for working for the organization? As a human resource professional, earlier times we used to cater to the nuances of all the employees and try to balance the employee requirements and the organizational needs. If this balance could have been done, we would have thought, as an HR professional, we have done a just service. But being a people person is considered bit dated nowadays. HR is no longer being a people person, with no longer a person with a soft skill, and it is not sufficient enough to have only coordinating relationships with each of the stakeholders. Now it is all about creating and delivering value. As a true business partner, it is about creating values and probably aligning oneself to the objectives of the organization. First, so what is HR likely to do nowadays is to become a strategic business partner. This is very important. We as an individual, we as an employee are no longer just a person in existing to take our salaries and wages. We are bringing something called human capital, who just happen to manage it. We just happen to manage those human capital altogether. So everything has been redefined, both the roles, both the responsibilities, and the specification. As a true partner, we need to redefine what we are achieving at aiming at. We need to quantify the deliverable as a business partner. So helping the center of excellence, HR center of excellence, to with the process is the call of the day. As a HRBP, human resource business partner, we have to give a process a thumbs up. It has to be continuously monitored and, most importantly, updated. We need to lead management process in terms of talent acquisition. HR business partner leads an effort to develop a long-term strategy to ensure continuous development and retention of its key employees and potential successor. Delivering by developing a human resource program that is go both enticing and promising, both for the organization and the employee, so that it enhances the productivity and, most importantly, the bottom line. Please remove all the obstacles with the new process that we are talking around here. This is the process that we are talking around here. So HRBP roles and responsibility: championing the change management process, acting as an impartial advisors of the employees in difficult situation. Believe me or not, the world is getting big dynamic. It is changing almost every year. Every year we have a new paradigm shift. Keeping HR process fully compliant with the legal and statutory framework is pertinent, is very important. Mind you, with the changes in the environment, with the changes in the business process, we cannot flout the law of the land. With the legalities, we should work within the framework of the law. HR has access to all people related data, which insights into an overall capability of the existing workforce. So, what do? We need to formulate, implement organization business strategy and its objective. So, mind you, the business strategy should never be compromised. Whatever we formulate, whatever we implement, business strategy should be the core crux of it. So, HR business partners basically has four aspects. As a business partner, we are looking at the profitability, and we should go hand in hand as the pictograph defines. But remember the gone erstwhile days where we are supposed to be the champion of the employee. that should not also be compromised. At the end of the day, an organization is as strong as its weakest link, is all about it. And employee cannot be the weakest link. We need to have an administrative expert. We work as an administrative expert. We work within the framework of the company and framework of the law of the land and come up with a justified solution, a solution which might take new directions, that is of change agent. So, four roles: strategic business partners, employee champion, administrative expert, and change agent. These are the four things that we need to keep in mind. Now, we'll come with an effective HR business partners. Now, what are they? See, I have jotted down only four things for you people. Number one, the context of the business is changing. Now, what are the issues that as a business partner you come around it? The roles that we define, and the capacity and the mindset which needs to be taken care for. So, what is the changing context of the business partnering? First, you know why HRBP is required for by an organization, because it is struggling. It is struggling to meet the change environment, the change expectation. When I talk about expectation, it is not only that of customers but also of that of internal customer. So with this, we need to come up with a solution. The HR business partners is the only viable solutioning partners which looks at deliverables as is outcomes. Now, the world and the organizations are at different places. We'll come to it one by one. With business partner issues, what does the customer want? You know, what does the customer wants? And I am looking at both the external and the internal thing. What are the concerns of the organization? What are the concerns of the supervisor? What are the difficulties that we access around it? And we will look into it. So, issues with business partner is we need to decipher in the subsequent slides. So, role and structure of HRBP, the core purpose. Please understand, the core purpose is not to deviate from the organizational goal. To whom does the HRBP report? Definitely to the top management. And remember, it's a business partner. They are not supposed to be employed. They are part of the organization and they are looking at the welfare of the organization, well-being of the organization. So they are working in context with the top management itself. Effects of the technology on the role plays a vital importance. Technology is of paramount importance with the HRBP as the environment is changing, and probably to keep a tab and monitor the situation. The HRBP capabilities and mindset is knowledge, experience. The personal characteristic that he or she brings into the job is of vital importance. The personality matters a lot. Being strategic, supporting HR services that we talking around it. Now we'll talk about the Ulrich models in which the HR context have been brought upon. So business partners are one of the fundamental leg, or should I say pillars. The other two are shared services for transaction and center of excellence. The shared services for transaction is an administrative group. Remember, it is designed to increase the effectiveness of HR and reduce its cost. This is of vital importance. Remember, the organizational goals are not to be compromised. That means increasing profitability and reducing cost. So what are the three legs? One is a business partner, one of the legs. Second leg is center of transaction, service center of transaction, or the administrative thing, and last would be the center of excellence. So one, two, three, that needs taken care of. Next is a different business context. We are changing rapidly. Now, with the change in competition, there is a huge pressure on us to increase the margin for an organization. And one way to increase the margin is to increase the prices so that the revenue will increase or reduce the cost. So, the best method of reducing is to reduce the cost, because if you increase the margin, if you increase the revenue or profitability or things like that, it might impact your customers altogether, and we don't want to compromise on our customers' interest. The world and organizations are different places. Yes, definitely, yes, the world is getting smaller, and as the world is getting smaller with the advent of new technology, the organization is getting more and more transparent. Things are being visible, or we take pride in being transparent in a transaction. This will make whatever seems to be getting complexer will be able to be we will be able to manage the functions accordingly in a much lucid fashion. So the world and organization, despite are in different places, we need to understand how we can amalgamate these two things and so as to benefit all the stakeholders. So one way to do around is to look for information technologies or improve technologies, and talent performance change is a must nowadays. Now we come to partner issues. Now, partner issues is got to define your problem first and foremost, define your customers. First and foremost, who is the customer? Is millennials are your customer, or Generation Z is your customers, or let's say the baby boomers are your customers? Because based on our customer profiling, only can you define the products and services. If your product and services are designed for certain customer segment, and that full segment of customer is not present in your market, how will you do business? You have to do something else. You have to take help of technology to market your product in a different locality altogether. So you need to take feedback continuously. How satisfied are they? How do you know them? Does it have a personal contact? Are you in touch with them? Are there any social media, any groups that you have formed, and there is a continuous interaction between them? So what might they want? They don't want, or they would love to have. So what they want to avoid, what they want to latch up, what are the things that they're looking in future from you when I say as a organization, from the organization, what does the customer look in? So these needs to be written down, these needs to be clarified for each work area, and the business partner needs to inform the customer as to how they can best come up with a solution or resolve any nuisances or intricacies that they might have found themselves into. So, business partner issues is one, or the solution is one. It is communication. You need to communicate time and again, and you need transparent time and again. So, role of HR business partners, what are their roles? You need to define what is their expectation. You need to contribute their decisions and discussion is all about communication. Helps in executing strategies. Number one, please understand, HRBPs are not, business partners are not into advising, they are into implementation, they are into execution. So it is not mandatory that you say this is the best thing to do around it, go around it. How you will solve it? Follow these steps. No, you have to show them how you will go ahead with it. Provide ideas and challenges to management team, that acts as a catalyst. Advising them on people issues, support on a robust measurement, being the expert and the conduit of people challenges. Now, what is conduit is basically having that faith or building that trust on your employees so that they bring the best inside them, best out of them. Their performances actually is sparkling. Collaborating with other HR issues with their work business to deliver seamless and continuous smooth service and product to customers. Business partner structures and segmentation. As a unit, we can have team based upon it. What can be the team based? It can be based on this business unit basis, and this can be on location wise also, this can be on functional wise also. Then we have a core unit called operation and R&D, a proper feedback. Now remember it, people from different, mind you, different side part of the globe, if you find them and if you study them, you will come to know that in certain part of the globe people are a little bit taller, certain part of the globe people are a little bit shorter, certain part of the globe they are a little bit bulkier, and so on and so forth. So if you are in a business of making into the garment industry, the one size fit all strategy doesn't work. But yes, one size fit all strategy work in a certain segment or certain geographical location. So these things needs to be taken back as a feedback and reverted to the operation and R&D. And I'm just giving garment industries for an example. So what do we do? What are we looking into? Different countries, different location, and head office function. So these are completely four things that needs to be structured and segmented. I have been talking around whom does the business partner report? The human resource business partner always, remember, always directly reports to the chief executive. Nobody and no one in between. To the top management you report, because believe me, if the business partner interest is only in the profitability, if the organization is not making profits, the business partner is also not getting any shares of the profit. So any losses that the organization incurs into, it actually dents into the spirit of HR business partner. So as a policy, you report to the chief executive. Business partner definitely does not be regarded as a full-fledged member of the business. What did I say? They are not the full-fledged, but they are partners in the profitability and the losses. The role here is essentially of that of a relationship manager, attached to a particular part of the business. Remember the particular part. Now this part can be your geographical part existence, or a process oriented, or an event oriented. For an event, you require an HR business partner. Once the event winds up, the HR business washes his hand or her hand off. As simple as that. So it's a particular part of the business that the HRBP is associated with. An HR leader wishing to retain direct reporting lines with HRBPs could seen as a lack of commitment embedding them across the businesses. This is important. Now we come to the technology, the role, the structure. Believe it or not, every 12 months, every 24 months, deploying of a service technology changes and has typically improved. You name it, we have it. You go into the medical fraternity, you go into the banking facilities, the every process have changed or been usually been revamped in 12 to 24 months. So what does it mean? We are looking at reducing cost, first and foremost thing, reducing legal bills, tribunal bills, to retain HR functions, but doing the job the business wanted to be done in a particular fashion. So basically, we are reducing the cost, but at the same time, we are not compromising on the effectiveness. But perhaps the most telling measure is the client survey of the manager, the rising reputation of HR. So briefly, I'm telling to you what is briefly about it. So first and foremost thing is the people partnership team issues. Now, HR business partner is a key contributor to building a talent driven organization that enables excellence in providing strong and strategic professional service to smarter good profile of a global client. Mind you, the smarter good profile of a global client means there are no compromises as far the satisfaction of the customers are concerned. The customer are the fulcrum of the existence of the business. So customers have never been compromised. So basically, HRBP helps in or assists in day-to-day operation in the people partnership team, manages the administration of human resource policies, procedures, program of the organization. The HRBP is responsible for creating and supporting a positive experience for the smarter goods. Positive experience in terms of services and the product that has been given to it. The HR business partner is basically drives progressive, people focused, and forward looking company cultures as well as employee satisfaction. So remember, employees not been compromised, but remember the thing, the organization goal is the focus and business value added. So we'll come into differentiate the 100% weightage of what HRBP responsibility is. Of that 100%, 40% is basically human resource management. What does it mean? It is looking into the people partnership director or nurturing talent, having overall uh, streamlined strategies to achieve the organizational goal. So what do we do? It implements data analysis, data collection system, and other strategies to help solve business problem. Very important. Remember, all the decisions that has been taken by human resource business partner are data driven. They will look into the problem, they will accrue the data, they will analyze the data so that they can elevate the problems and solve the issues, which means reducing the cost and overall streamlining of the processes altogether. We create reports, helps the team to understand the data by using graphs. Our presentation, which is impactful, maintain competitive compensation and benefit packages, ensure compliance with labor regulations, ensure compliance with the laws of the land, develops, communicate, enforces, and updates the company handbook on a annual basis. This also has been appraised to the employees. If there are any changes, this has to be appraised, mandatory. Participates in developing and documenting organizational guidelines and procedures, implement risk management policies and protocol. So this comprises the 40% of the workload of business partner. Next comes the 35%. That means 40 plus 35 becomes 75% of the work is of operation. Remember, I said HR business partner is also into execution. It is also into implementation. How does it go around it? It manages vendors and service providers. It develops a conducive relationship with them by conducting need assessment and providing right feedback in terms of negotiation, in terms of renewing contract, in terms of vetting anything that needs to be done. Oversees tracking of an employee record and database, including attendance, benefit, utilization, and so on and so forth. Oversees smarter goods, internal, external financial activities, be it of your employees or be it of your end customer. Maintains and implements system of control, checks and control for expenses and revenues, in mostly in the cases of expenses that we're looking into it, and so on and so forth. So what am I giving it to you? Coordinate with SG's accounting team. Please understand SG is smarter goods. Smarter goods are what? Are the profile of the company or the customers that we are looking into. People who are absolutely proficient. So support smarter groups accounting team, oversees IT operational, anticipates, tracks IT plan. Now, please remember this whenever we're looking into it. For an operation manager and implementation, all has to be data driven and looked into in future. The last 25% is all about talent management. It basically gives plans the succession planning. It gives an inclusive, proactive talent sourcing abilities. It supports onboarding, training, inducting, offboarding of employees in case things people are leaving the company. They live on a warmer note so that they don't go out of the company and probably badmouth about anything. So it includes all about coordination, all about facilitation. It is all about synthesizing anything. The exit interview, be it the exit interview or the recruitment interview, works proactively with the development managers to support data-driven performances. Data-driven is the must word around that I've been trying to tell to you. The HRBPs are data-driven centric. So, and this is people participatory directors, PPD. If you look into it, manages mid-year, annual year, employees reviews, suppose development mid-year. It will be a feedback that has been provided to you. Annual year, your performance reviews, your increment, your promotion. In most of the cases, promotion and hike that we are talking around it. Manages to implement performance improvement plan as needed. Facilitate employee permanency, movement, and so on and so forth. Manages employee relationship, include any conflict, any mediation that requires, any negotiation that needs to be addressed to, any grievances that you need to handle around it. So this is all about the talent management, the 100% work of human resource partner. Thank you for watching my video. Have a nice day.